We're beginning here in Africa, where William Arap Ruto, Kenya's deputy president, has emerged the country's new president following the nation's just concluded election. He was declared winner of the presidential election by Kenya's Electoral Commission on Monday. Mr. William Ruto won with 50.49% of the vote, narrowly defeating opposition leader and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who was contesting for the fifth time. He will become Kenya's fifth president since independence, winning the seat on his first attempt. Mr. Ruto's party, the Kenya First Coalition, has won a majority of seats in Kenya's Senate, the second highest in the National Assembly.
William Samoei Arap Ruto was born on the 21st of December, 1966. The Kenyan politician, now president-elect, was a member of parliament from 1998 to 2013. He served as the Minister for Home Affairs in the Daniel Arap Moi administration from August to December 2002. He later served in the Mwai Kibaki administration as the Minister of Agriculture from 2008 to 2010, and as Minister for Higher Education from April to October 2010. In the 2013 presidential election, Ruto was elected deputy president alongside President Uhuru Kenyatta under the Jubilee Alliance ticket. On the 6th of October 2014, Mr. William Ruto was appointed as acting president of Kenya by President Uhuru Kenyatta following his summons to appear before the International Criminal Court of Justice. He was declared president of Kenya in the 2022 presidential election on Monday, the 15th of August 2022. During his speech at the Kenya's International Electoral and Boundaries Commission's National Talent Center at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi, the incoming president thanked the people of Kenya for voting him as the next leader. According to the president-elect, "It was God that brought us here. My team and I will make sure the sacrifices made by many Kenyans is not in vain. I will run a transparent, open, and democratic government, and I will work with the opposition to the extent that they will provide oversight for my administration. To the extent that they will provide oversight over my administration." End quote. Mr. Ruto described himself as the hustler-in-chief, citing his humble beginnings as a chicken seller who fought his way up to the top of the Kenyan politics. But his election is still under heat. Some members of the Kenyan electoral body are not in agreement with the declared results, describing the process as opaque. How the tide goes from the standpoint will remain to be seen.
And joining me virtually from Kenya to discuss the just concluded election is a writing fellow, African Liberty, Jamlik Kogi. Good to have you join us. Can you hear me, Mr. Jamlik Kogi? All right, good to have you join us, Jamlik Kogi. I just want to be sure that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so we've had a lot of reactions following this election. I just want to ask you and get from you the sentiments in Kenya. What's the mood like in Kenya since the announcement of these results?
Thank you, Precious, for having me. The mood in Kenya is quite celebratory, so to speak, on one side, in that for the side of the current deputy president, now the president-elect, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, there has been celebration because of the hard work that he has done, putting all the effort and demystifying some theories that you cannot rise from vice president or a deputy president to become president. On the other hand, there has been some disappointment for the side that was supporting His Excellency Honorable former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But everything is calm. We are hopeful. Kenya, we are going to move forward.
Sense or an indication that this election was rigged, or just indication of election malpractice?
Well, a majority of Kenyans disagree with that because for the first time, it's almost unanimous that almost everybody agrees that this election was the most open and very transparent, in that the electoral body IEBC decided that this time round they're going to be very transparent. They displayed the Form 34As, that is the forms that are filled at the polling stations on the portal, so that anybody, including the media stations and international media stations, have really done account so that it is really transparent. So from where I sit, I don't believe that there was rigging. It was very open and transparent.
But there are those who say that the results were not, or the result was not produced in a way that is transparent because of the inability of the Election and Boundaries Commission to form a quorum. We saw how four members of that commission, split. There was a split in the commission, and 4 members of that commission held a separate press conference. And I just want to take the statement we heard from Raila Odinga in just a few minutes ago, and I just want to take some of the comments he made. He said, and I'm taking this. He said, "This is a travesty and utter disregard for the Constitution." He said the figures announced by Chibukati, who is the head of the commission, are null and void, and saying that they were announced in a way that is not transparent. Are those concerns genuine?
Well, let me say on behalf of many Kenyans, many people are disappointed by the division we have seen with the electoral body. And it's quite unfortunate in that some of the commissioners that have made the press briefing that has later been followed by an address by Honorable Raila Odinga, some of them have actually been announcing those results until a day before the announcement. So from where many people sit, it seems like there is a hand in it, knowing that Raila Odinga has been supported by the state, so to speak, by the outgoing president Uhuru Kenyatta. And these commissioners were appointed about a year ago, August of 2021, 4 of them. So many people read there could be a hand of the current government in that. And we feel they are not genuine in that, as I'd mentioned before, the transparency that has transpired in this election. It was clear that indeed Dr. Ruto won the election. Everybody, even the media stations that were tallying, including my friends and other individuals who are doing the tally, there was a clear 50 plus 1%. That is requisite for one to be declared president, in addition to garnering 25% in at least 24 of the counties. So then following Raila's address, well, I feel the gentleman, I respect him, but he's coming from this point, instead of just giving in and saying that indeed this time round there has been the election has not been stolen. He's looking for what to say. If you looked at the presser, there was even confusion which script they would go with. So for me, I feel for him, I respect him. His space is very much respected in our democracy, but it is important for him to concede and let the nation move forward.
But let me ask you, because he says that according to the law, the IEBC must make its decision with a majority of members of that commission, and that because there was a split, this case is now heading to court. That's the Supreme Court. Do you see a repeat of what took place in 2017, I believe that is, where the court overturned the election and then there was a re-election? Another election was held in Kenya. Do you think that there are valid grounds for litigation here?
I would say we will cross the bridge when we reach there. But at the moment, he has expressed, his Honorable Raila has expressed that he would be seeking all possible legal redress. And the courts, of course, that should be the most immediate point of action. And courts most likely, as they did previously, and we respect our judiciary system, they are very fair, they are very independent. They have actually overturned a ruling before in the 2017 election. But this time round, and this is my opinion, the grounds are really not there. We will give justice and the court system the due process. We will be patient if that course is pursued. But at the end of the day, there is not a likelihood that there will be overturning of the IEBC verdict. In that, the chief returning officer, that is the chairman of IEBC, he's mandated to indeed declare who the president-elect is, and he just did that. So the small squabbles that could be there between the chair of the electoral body and his team, actually they have disappointed us on that side. They should have put their house in order, because it was like unanimous. We know that who the president was even before the announcement. So I feel there is no really some good ground to overturn that decision.
We'll see. I mean, the case is now going to the Supreme Court. We'll see how the Supreme Court decides on that. But much have been said for electoral violence in Kenya, and 2007 and 2008 seem to be the reference year. We saw the squabble at the IBC, the headquarters of the IBC. I think it was before the election. The results were announced, and then just the pockets of violence after the results were announced. What measures have been put in place to ensure that this doesn't become full-blown violence, as was seen in 2007?
Ministry of Interior, that is responsible for maintaining law and order, they have been assuring the nation that that every Kenyan should feel safe and secure, that the police officers and all agencies that are responsible to ensure that everything is going on well, they are alert, and in case of any areas that there is suspicion that violence could erupt, police are on alert and able to control the situation. So yeah, there has been very minor incidences here and there, but nothing to cause alarm. Kenyans have learned. We cannot go back to where we came from in 2007/8. We really need to be done with this process and go back to our businesses and work.
And talking about Kenya's learning, I'm just going to ask you quickly 2 questions in one. Do you think that played a role? Because we see that William Ruto is a much younger candidate. Raila Odinga, this is his 5th attempt and still didn't get it. But do you think that this played a role in terms of Kenya's learning the lessons in how they voted? And also, if what next do you think, what next for Raila Odinga?
Well, if I got you correctly, is the 2 functions really were preaching peace during the campaign period, both sides of the divide, and we really have I believe even the 2 leading politicians who are head-to-head, because this was a close election. They are sure, they are aware that we have come from far as a nation. We have lost lives previously, and we do not wish to go through that direction. The next action for Raila is basically, as per the pressure that he has mentioned, to explore all possible legal redress, so to speak, if he chooses to go that direction. If he doesn't, he can again hold another presser and mention that maybe he'll be assuming his role, because he has a role, as per yesterday's announcement, to be the official opposition leader, to check the government, because that is something we have missed in the last 5 years, when he had a handshake with the current president Uhuru. Because since then nobody was in check. There was looting going on left, right, and center. In fact, the outgoing president confessed on live TV that at least 2 billion Kenya shillings gets looted every day, because there was nobody in check. The opposition had joined the government into the looting and doing the work that the government was doing. So for Honorable Raila, from where I sit, he can pursue those 2 options. One, seek the legal redress, the Supreme Court, and number 2, officially take his role as the official opposition leader.
All right, we'll see how things play out in Kenya, especially the decision that the Supreme Court will take. Thank you so much for talking to us, writing fellow African Liberty, Jamlik Kogi.
Thank you, Precious.